Hi everybody, I'm going to show you how to make these snowman ornaments today. You want to find two wood rounds that are about the same size, so when you attach them together with the jute, they look proportioned. Okay, I already squeezed out my paint and I'm using the Craft Smart in parchment. It's not chalk paint, just regular acrylic. I spread this out too much, as you can see. So I'm going to cover all my wood rounds that I have here that I've already sized. And what I'm trying to do is stay in the middle so you can see a bit of that wood around it, and obviously I'm not doing a very good job of that. It seems that if you get a bunch of paint on your brush and then you swing it around the edge, that works better. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, this one already has an abundance on it because when I squeezed it out, it went nuts. Okay, so those won't take any time really. Okay, so that's nice. You don't leave too much on there though. If there's too much paint, it won't dry very fast and it won't look as good as it should. Definitely want to get the excess off. Okay, this one. Let's do that thing where I was saying you take it, just go in a circle. I do remember to do this, but just get ahead of myself. I'm a little impatient. Okay, perfect. So those are all good. I'm just going to touch this one up. I have all this extra paint. This is one that I did earlier. So we are going to wait for those to dry. You don't want to put your Sharpie or any other markers on the wood round that is still wet. Now you can take a blow dryer, but I'm just going to pause and wait for them to dry and I'm going to come back, okay? All right. Okay, everyone, these are very dry. I touched them just to make sure. Okay, so we're going to take a fine tip Sharpie. Got this from the dollar store today because I ran out of my other one. And we're just going to I'm going to follow this template. This originally, the idea came from Pinterest, and it was many different faces and different shapes of eyeballs, and this one was just the easiest for me. Okay, so when you use the pin, you don't have to press very hard. You don't have to put so much pressure because it will bleed, and you don't want it to bleed. It comes out pretty thin, but it can come out pretty thick. So first of all, I'm just going to do the eyebrows, and I'm picking a really rough piece of wood. You can tell the grooves are pretty, so a little bit harder. So I just, doesn't look very good, but you can fix it as you go. Okay, I'm going to do the other eyebrow. And when you make the hat, you don't want the eyes as close as I did them, the eyebrows, but I always mess up. So now I'm just going to draw a circle. It's not a perfect circle by any means. Okay. And I have a bit of white paint, so I'm just going to rub that on my pants because I have black leggings on. And now that's all done. Draw another circle. This one's a little bit bigger and definitely darker because I took off the paint. I got a little bit of lint on there. All right, and then I'm going to do the nose. I always do the nose because if I do the mouth first, it gets all messed up. So I'm going to start more towards the left eye and then just do some weird, my finger got in the way. And there's my carrot nose. Doesn't look like much right now, but it looks cuter. And I always have little lines. Oops, that was too big of a line. But that's okay because it's going to kind of get covered by the orange that we're going to use to fill it in. Okay, and then also, I didn't show you, I'm going to put little circles inside the eyeballs. So we're just going to fill in the big circle when it comes time. And then I like to do the little piece for the mouth, kind of like the eyebrows. Same idea applies. And then I just take it and get a little crazy with its smile. And I want it to, of course, meet up on the other side of the face with the right eyeball. And then just do that. Okay, now I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to fill in the black part for the eyeballs. And you don't want to push too hard while you're doing this either, because you're going to get paint, if there is any, that's stuck in those grooves that hasn't dried yet. It'll get on your Sharpie and it'll definitely ruin what you got going on in the stark black department. It'll fade out and it won't look as good. And then sometimes you just, you know, need to pull it up, give it a moment. Kind of like it recharges. Okay. Oops, so that one's starting to smear. You notice that right there? That's because I've got paint. Oops, sorry. On my Sharpie again. So we're just going to wipe that off. And I'm going to go the other eyeball, give it a break. Yeah, this one is not as dry as I thought it was. So I'm going to leave that be for a minute. I wiped off the excess. I'm going to put the cap back on so it can do what it's going to do. And then I got these jot markers, and the orange one is perfect for the nose. Okay, so I'm just going to fill it in. I'm going to try not to draw on the black, like just fill it in like you're coloring, because it will start to darken the areas and it won't look as nice. It kind of adds a neat primitive look to it if you do smear it, so it's not the end of the world, but I like it better when it doesn't touch, unless I want it to. And there he has a nose. He's a cute snowman. Maybe I went too crazy with his smile, but we'll see if I got it. Then I got this flower cream blush from Dollar Tree, and it works really well. I like the color of it for its cheeks. I'm sure you could use any kind of lipstick from there though. And I just stick my finger in it, kind of rub around, not too much. Get just a little bit of that on there. And like that, very lightly. Kind of go around his cheeks, make him look like he has rosy cheeks. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. A little more right here. And now he has cheeks. Cute. Okay. And I'm going to fill in that eyeball as soon as that paint dries. I'm going to take one of the jot ones, because I don't mind if I ruin that. They have a lot of colors. This one's black. Oh, that works good. Okay. Much better. Now, we're just going to match up sizes. This one's a little lopsided, but it's okay. We want them to kind of have bigger, different belly. So we are going to take a piece of jute, string, twine. It's about 9 inches. And we're going to flip the snowman, but you want to make sure you know where his middle is. So that's right where, see there's a bit of white on the edge right there. I don't know if you could see it. That's going to be my indicator of where I need to be. Okay, so that's the middle. I'm going to make this the middle. And I'm going to take some hot glue, which I've got ready. Don't mind my horrible glue gun. And I'm going to go right at the top, make a string down towards the middle. Oops, I don't know why I'm up there. Do it right here. And we're just going to lay this down. And I like to use a tool, which I don't have on me right now because it's in the other room. And I'm going to press. Sometimes whatever you're using will stick to it. Yeah. Okay. And you want to adhere it pretty closely if you can. Oh, I'm stuck to everything. Okay. And then for more support, I always just take the glue gun and go in a zigzag over the piece of ribbon, twine, or whatever you're using. I'm also going to do that for the top piece. I need another glue stick. The same thing. And this one we already started up here, so that's perfect. We'll just go ahead and zigzag that on top. And there we are. We are together. Now we're just going to wait for that to dry. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap in between in case you want to do a scarf or if you want to do a bow. And my mom is going to make the bow for us because I don't know how to do that. Not yet, anyway. So once that's dry, which we'll wait for, I'm going to take now a piece of foam board from Dollar Tree. And I don't write, I just kind of cut. So I'm taking my little Cry-Cut scissors. They're easier for me to use. And I'm going to try to show you this the best that I can. So I'm going to go from the end right here. Actually, I'm going to cut a piece off. So I can show it to you easier. So I have this little square right here. It's about 2.5, 3 inches wide. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to cut a weird shape. Something that I think would be a little unusual and cute and more primitive, I guess. So I'm going to go at an angle here. And then kind of make a looped edge. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I'm sure a X-Acto knife would work good, but I don't trust myself with those, honestly. I'm afraid I'm going to hurt myself. So then I'm just going to go back down in the B. Excuse me. And then that's what we have. We have this funky little shape right here. Now, this should be dry. It is. So this is what this looks like. Super cute. And we're going to take this piece of twine that's still existing on top. And we're going to make it a loop of any size that you want, so you can hang it from, you know, your mantle or your Christmas tree or just wherever. Okay. And the scale is going to seem a bit large. If you see right here. But I like big hats, but I think I'm going to go down just a little bit. So I'm going to trim this. Definitely better. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I've got my hat. Move this little guy to the side. I brought my piece of felt in here. Just using this really pretty glittery piece of felt that my mom gave me. And I'm going to take that, flip the felt over on the non-glittery side so I can glue the hat to it. And I'm going to pretty much just place it in the middle so I know I can fold pieces over when I glue it so it'll stick to it. Okay. So now I'm just going to continue my cut all the way around. There's excess, that's fine. There's plenty of felt at the Dollar Tree usually, just plain black. We don't have any glittery, but I'm not sure where my mom got this. And so then you have all this excess right there that you can fold over it. See that? Okay, so now I'm going to flip over the hat with that sticker part, and I'm going to put hot glue around the edges of it. And I'm going to flip this over and make sure it's nice and stuck, and it adheres pretty fast. So now we got the glittery side on the back, plain side right here, and then we're just going to go ahead and glue away. Pull over. This is the easiest way I can do it. It's kind of like wrapping a present. And that's stuck. Oops. So in this case, I did not make the felt long enough, and I can't stretch it over the glue. So I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll come back to that with another piece because we're going to cover it anyway. So it looks a little bit nicer. Excuse me. All right, and then just take the felt, push it over. Careful, because when you touch that hot glue, it's going to burn. Okay. And then do this side. And I also put a little bit of glue on the felt itself because now it's going to have to fold over onto that. Just keep pushing, folding until it looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to take a tiny piece of felt and cover the back. Got a little bit right there, so I'm going to trim that edge. Okay, and now we've got this funky little shaped hat covered in the felt. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to position it just like this. So I'm going to apply some hot glue to the top above his eyebrows. Wait. Nope. And you're just going to press real good until it dries. You can't move it. And I got a little bit of extra glue right there, and I don't want that, so I'm going to take my scissors and run along the bottom of it, and I kind of got rid of it for the most part. Okay, and then you're going to take this piece of felt again, and you're going to cut a brim. Is that what it's called? What is it? A brim to the hat? Brim. Yeah, brim. Okay, and I just cut There's really no method to it. I'm just going to kind of make it scalloped, big wide scallops. Kind of like that. So I made that odd little shape. And then I'm going to take maybe ½ an inch above that and try to follow the exact same shape. Okay. And that's what I have. Kind of looks like a mustache. Okay. Okay. So the way I cut it kind of gets in the way of one of his eyes. So I'm going to try to position it the best I can, which would be like that. So I'm going to glue that to the hat, and then we're going to trim the edges to shape it better. Okay. Okay. Now it kind of covers his eyes, but it's still super cute. But we're going to fix the edges. Let's just look at it for 1 minute. Oh my goodness. Sorry the video is so long. I'm trying really hard. Precious. All right, here we go. And I'm going to take one of those chalk markers from the Dollar Tree. Okay, and I'm going to rough up the edges a bit with this to make it look like snow. Originally when I made these I did dry snow and it just stinks and it comes off. So really no point in using that. And then I always go along the edge of the brim itself so it looks like that's where the snow would fall naturally. I'm gonna give a little bit here. Just gonna angle along the edges of the brim. Okay, he's got a snowy hat now. All right, and then we're gonna finish gluing the back of the twine so we can hang him. I'm gonna do it about yay high. It's almost to the tip of the hat. Okay. And once that dries, we can attach the piece of burlap that we're going to do. We're going to make a little square really quickly. Just have this piece of scrap burlap. I like to fray the edges, so I kind of cut it larger than I want it to be so I can pull some away from it. And it's already frayed just a bit, if you can see that. I'm just going to take this edge piece, pull it out, and then one more, and then you're left with that. But I want to take 2 of these so it looks a little more even, but not even, because that makes it cuter. Okay, I'm going to flip it around, and you're going to find a good place for it. I'm just going to put it up in the right hand corner, so that's where the tip of the hat is. Just a bead of glue. Attach that. Cute. And then we're also going to take a piece of this buffalo check ribbon. I'm going to use the red and white. I'm going to kind of square that. Just a small square. And I'm going to try to fray that a little bit. I'm just tugging on the edges. Super cute. Okay. It's stuck to me. So that's what you end up with. Just that little piece, but it's enough. And then another little bead of glue right on top of that burlap. Put your fabric on there. And Ta-da! In just a moment, I'll have my mom show you the bow. All right, my mom's going to make the bow. She's using 2 pieces of fabric that are 5 inches by 2 1/4.
You want to put them wrong sides together. Okay. And then you just want to fold this like it was a little fan. Like that. And then you're going to tie a knot in the middle. You have to pull this out. My fingers aren't doing a very good job. There we go.
It's good to see you work with it because people just think, you know, it's so easy to make these things.
Just gotta, and then when you have the 2 fabrics together like that, back and front will be fabric and not the wrong side of the material. And you can just pull it out and it's going to be frayed a little bit.
Which is cuter.
Yeah, and there you go.
Okay, thanks, Mom. Okay, so now we're going to take the bow, super cute bow, okay, oops, and we're going to glue it right, the flattest side is your best idea, right to the bottom piece, but we're going to do it really close to the edge of that bottom circle right there, on the first wood round where the face is on it. Sorry if that's not making much sense. Okay, I want to make sure that dries good. And then I also got my Dollar Tree buttons. And there's multiple sizes. I got the dark container. I found 2 that I want. I have a very, very small one and one that's about 2.5 times the size of it. And we're going to do the bigger one on the bottom. That's on the bottom round. Oops, I put it on the wrong side. It's hollow in the middle, so it wouldn't adhere to it. Huh. I made a little bit of a mess of it, but I'll clean that up. And then directly above it, and then I'm going to clean this up just a touch. So the glue will ooze through the buttonholes, which makes sense because there's space. And then there we are. This is your final product. How cute is that little guy? So we got him. This one, really easy to make. Very cute. I think they're adorable. All right. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a really long video. Thank you to my mom for helping. Bye, everyone.